world of Final Fantasy, developed by Tose and Square Enix in 2016. I will be reviewing the PlayStation 4 version. World of Final Fantasy has many strong points, including compelling stylized graphics, a solid soundtrack, a great sense of humor, and overall polish. But it can stumble due to its loosely knit story, its slow battle, and its limited character development. World of Final Fantasy draws inspiration from Final Fantasy and Pokémon. The Final Fantasy inspiration is most obvious. Many of the memorable Final Fantasy characters are here. You get to meet Cloud and Tifa from Final Fantasy VII, Tidus and Yuna from Final Fantasy X, Lightning and Snow from Final Fantasy XIII, and many more. However, none of these characters have memories of their original adventures, but are born and raised in this new world. Lon and Rain are siblings who wake up in a cozy modern city that is completely devoid of people except for a person who calls herself God. The pair have very little memories of themselves, and God suggests that they should go back to their original world of Grimoire to capture mirages, which are chibi Final Fantasy monsters. The story is not bad, but it lacks drive and character development due to fitting so many Final Fantasy cameos into a 30-hour RPG. There are only 3 characters that receive proper game time, namely the protagonist duo and a small floating chibi fox named Tama. Almost all of the dialogue along the journey are among these characters. The dialogue and wit are pretty good. The writers took advantage of the casualness of the RPG to crack some pretty clownish jokes. The cities and dialogues are based on existing locations in the Final Fantasy games, and I think they did an absolutely amazing job. The locations look distinct, fleshed out, and artistic, going beyond the look and feel of the original game into something that is uniquely World of Final Fantasy. The game uses a fixed camera during exploration so that you can only pan the camera but not rotate it. This forces the camera to look at the best part of the scenery, which makes for an excellent artistic shot of the environment, and is often breathtaking. Overall, the image looks great and is highly polished. There are 2 distinct character styles. The first style is the super ultra deformed style, where the characters' heads are way bigger than the rest of their bodies. The other style is slightly more realistic, but still cartoony, with proportions similar to Kingdom Hearts. The main characters can switch between a chibi and mature form at will. The battle is an action-time combat reminiscent of the Final Fantasies of the Super Nintendo and PlayStation 1 era. Your action meter fills up over time, and you can act once it's full. Instead of having mana for special skills, you have AP, which naturally recharges every turn. Most of the battle system is pretty old, but the game introduces a unique stacking mechanic. Your 2 protagonists cannot equip weapon and armors, but instead they equip the monsters they captured. Mirages can fight along you in battle, can combine with your main characters like a super robot, or they can even find items for you. Once a Mirage is sufficiently leveled, they can give you their seed, which is like their essence that unlocks abilities when equipped by a main character. The game goes all in on the Mirage system. Having a variety of Mirages can help you diversify your potential, but capturing and leveling all of them can be a big commitment. Dungeons are extremely well designed, and there are plenty of them, which is a great thing because they all look so good. There are some simple puzzles, including paths that are blocked unless you have a certain item or a specific Mirage with a certain skill, such as Smash to get past boulders, Flutter to go past small gaps, and so on. One of the more interesting puzzles are the stack pedestals, which require you to place a stack of Mirages that have a certain level of combined elemental resistance. The music of this game is fantastic. It is composed by Masashi Hamauzu, who is the mastermind behind the Final Fantasy XIII soundtrack. His music often has a joyful, soaring, and ethereal atmosphere, which fits this art style and game perfectly. The game has many remixed tracks from previous Final Fantasies, but also has new tracks. It's a great soundtrack. The capture mechanic can get a bit involved, because it's not as simple as throwing a Pokeball at them. First, you have to get into random battles to find the monster you want. If the monster is stacked with another one, you have to try to topple the stack first, because you can't capture a monster that is part of a stack. Afterwards, you need to use Libra to find a condition to make the monster capturable. Some monsters require you to hit it with a certain element before it can be captured, while others require a specific status effect to be inflicted. Often, you don't have the right skill, so you have to rearrange your party back at the save point. Even if you trigger its capturable state, it takes as many as 30 tries to capture a single monster. It's even more infuriating if the monster keeps on running away. One of the minor annoyances is that there's a cursor delay when changing your party setup. The cursor gets stuck until it fully loads the character model before letting you move the cursor again. This means if you want to select a party member 5 slots down, it takes over 10 seconds because you have to load every party member in between. I found that it breaks immersion. Overall, I love the game's visual and music and its polish. The plot is a bit on the simple side, and the combat feels a bit stiff, but it's perfectly serviceable for nostalgia reasons. Dadozy Gaming gives this game an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching, and happy gaming.